Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Deep Run Railroad. Today we're going to do a little nail trimming, rail trimming. Let's take a look at a couple of different tools and see which ones work and how they work. So here I've got a piece of Pico Code 83 HO track that's been trimmed, and we're gonna see if we can't improve it. I have two cutters. These are vertical cutters. So we'll save those for last. These were the original cutters that I procured. These are side cutters. They're both made for rail cutting. This one's not a zircon. It's a GH&P. I think I've got my zircon somewhere else, but they're the same style. Side cutters are meant to be used coming in from the side. So come in from the side. You can see here on the track. Coming in. Let's see. There you go. There's a good view. Coming in from the side. I've got my flat lined up with the piece I want to keep, and I just cut it off. Coming in from the side with these cutters makes the cut very easy. I use two fingers. Here's the result of the cut. Let's see, bring it up here a little bit. Will it focus? Focus. It's not the long cut, it's the short cut. There we go. It's nice and straight. The rail looks good. It's not squished. The bottom of the rail has a very small, well, actually I can't even feel it, burr on the bottom. You could trim that if you needed to. So that's how I use side cutters. Now, everybody's seen Rick's rail tool for fish plates. As you can see, it comes in nice and easy, and there's no burr on the track, on the rail. Now let's try cutting it from the top, and we'll let's see, we're lined up. I've got my, oops, sorry about that. Got my cutter perpendicular to the rail I want to cut, and that required a lot more pressure. Let's see how our rail turned out here. Okay, so you can see very small ridge on the end of that rail. Hold it still here a minute. There you go. There's a little burr on the top right there. There's also, no, burr on the bottom doesn't feel too bad. Let's see. And the rail doesn't look compressed at all. So you can do it that way, but it takes a lot more pressure. Now let's try the vertical cutters. These are a lot different in their design. There is meat on the end of these cutters, and that meat is going to allow you to cut effortlessly. So let's start on this long piece. There we go. See how jagged it is? We're going to improve that. So your track's in place, and you want to get a good measurement. You just bring your cutter over, line it up vertically, and squeeze. Bing, bada boom. Let's see how it did. Well, my alignment wasn't too hot, so let's try that again. Okay. Had to recut that at a funny angle, but you get the idea. You hold the cutter up, back and forth to get this face vertical, perpendicular to your rail, and then you give it a cut, and this is the kind of cut you get. Nice and straight. There's no burr on the top. There's no burr on the bottom. The rail isn't squished. Now that was, let me push this up a little bit. Okay, here we got the two rails. This one was cut with the side cutters, and this one was cut with the vertical cutters. For those of you that have been following along closely, you'll notice that I am comparing the top-down side cutter rail with the vertical cutter rail. And I'm also going to say brass when I should have said nickel silver rail. Oops, sorry. I like the vertical cut better than the side cut, although these two look very good. The reason I like the vertical cut is that you can cut the track in place. Side cutters, you really need to come in from the side to get a good cut that's not squishing the brass. So let's go on to the next cutter. Here come the big guns. Yeah. So these dudes go right down to the rail. There's no pressure on the points. You can, I'm cutting a tortoise switch motor wire. I'll show you what it make them out of in a minute. But they get right down. There's no pressure on the rails or the track. I am right down to the throw bar. Put my fingers in there to hold the piece. Snap, and it's gone. So it looks higher than it is on the camera, but that's how I cut my tortoise and my servo rail mover, or the connecting wire. An RC servo, airplanes, cars, and it's pretty thick. Let's see. A little over 1 millimeter thick. I find that works really well for my servos. Now I got my Knips. These are made in Germany. These are awesome cutters. They're obviously used for other applications than model railroad, but I'm going to show you how easy it is to cut these guys. So, here we go. Now they got the long arms on them, but it's still a pretty good effort to get the cut. But That's the business end. And they can get into the track as I showed you without spreading the rails. So that's two different sizes. That's 1 millimeter, and the ones I use on the tortoise are a little bit finer. They're 0.81 millimeter, and they cut a little better. The reason I went with the stock RC ones for my servos is they have the bend in them already. So there you go.